Pin my video. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for arriving on time and ready to go. Hi there, Robert. I love that you have your camera on. Yvette, Jenny, Walter, everybody turn your camera on. We're going to have a really nice connected time today. I'm so excited to serve you. Hi, Catherine. How are you? Robert, you were the first person I saw. Where are you dialing in from today?
Redondo Beach, California.
No, sir. I
Yes.
sold real estate in the beach cities.
Okay.
That was my first job out of college. It was incredible. Amazing. Oh, I'm so jealous. I miss it so much. That's so wonderful. Well, we're so glad you're here, Robert.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Everyone, please put in the chat where you are in your coach training. And if you're not doing coach training, but you're more of a consultant role, put that in too. I'd love to know, one, are you in the beginning of your journey? Two, are you in the middle of your journey? Maybe you're just about to finish up coach training, or maybe you're working towards that ICF certification. Let us know where you are in your journey so we can speak during this training really specifically to you. Walter, you just came on my screen, and Catherine, I'd love to know also where are you from? Where are you dialing in from today? And everyone, please turn on your camera as we just take some time to connect here before everybody comes in. Jacob, cool. You're on mute, my friend, Walter. Go ahead, unmute. Can you unmute yourself there?
How about now? Can you hear me
There you
now?
go. Now we can hear you.
Sounds good. I'm from Northwest Indiana,
Northwest Indiana.
near Chicago,
Awesome.
but in Indiana.
Okay, fantastic. Very cool. And Catherine, where are you from?
Hi, I'm from Los Angeles.
Yeah, from Los Angeles, another
I'm not from
person.
here, but I live here now.
Oh,
I'm from the
wonderful,
East Coast.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we will get started here in just 2 minutes, but as you're coming into the training, we'll make sure everybody gets in here and is all settled and ready to go. Please let me know where you are in your coach training. And Jen, my teammate here, she's supporting us during this training. She has some fun prizes for us at the end. She is going to be reaching out to you and asking you where you are in your coach training, because that's really important to us to understand that. And if you've never done coach training, or you're like, hey, I'm not even a coach, but you're here for some sales support, no problem. You're going to learn a lot. Amazing. You're in the beginning. Jenny, okay, in the beginning, working on finishing training in Texas. Fantastic. Robert's working towards his ICF certification, just finished my ACC. So congratulations, Robert. That feels so good when you get that done. Amazing. And if you can, please turn on your camera. That really helps me see, is this resonating? Are you like, no, this isn't great? Helps me really understand where you are. My goal is for you to walk away with such a rich experience today that you tell all your friends and you change how you sell your coaching forever. So it's going to be an amazing training, but I love to see your face, please. Violet, love that beautiful picture. Amazing. Well, welcome everybody. And as we will get started here in just a minute. Hi there, Melissa. Hi there, Rev, Patty. Don't be shy. Turn on your camera if you can. Rev, hey there. Amazing. Love your name. My kiddo has a best friend named Rev. So you're you're already in my good graces. Rev, where are you from?
Durham, North Carolina. That's just my standard church title, so I'm going to change that. But I'm a pastor in the Lutheran Church, and I'm a
Oh,
coach
okay.
with the ELCA, Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. We have a coaching desk based in Chicago. And we have a network of Evangelical Lutheran ELCA coaches
Oh,
throughout the
very
country.
interesting. Just even
Yeah.
having a niche specific to your church or a group that you're in is really powerful, as a lot of people seek out coaches of, similar religions and things like that. So absolutely. So tell me in the chat, everyone who's here, why are you here? I want to know why you signed up for this training and what the heck you're doing here today. Okay, we need to make sure that you're in the right place before we get started. What do you want out of this training? And what are you hoping to receive today? Hi there, Patty. Nice to see your beautiful face. Put in the chat for me, Patty, and everyone coming in, where you are in your coach training or your coaching journey. Just started, just finishing, working toward ICF. I don't know what ICF is. The title of this training, Catherine says, where are you, Catherine? It says, this is exactly what I'm trying to do, right? And the title of this training is Get Paid to Coach Before Certification. And I'm
Right.
excited to share with you because I've helped hundreds of coaches, most during coach training, to sell their coaching before they graduate. So we're going to dive in today. She's wanting to move from peer coaching. Carrie says, hi there, Carrie, where are you? Turn on your camera if you can, my dear. Wanting to move from peer coaching to having paying clients. Okay, what's that next step? And if some of you are in peer coaching right now, or just thinking about peer coaching, we'll talk about how we can do that differently. So the Carries in the group can be ready to sell even faster before they graduate coach training. Okay, Carrie, thank you so much. Jacob's like, I'm here to learn, whatever you give me, I'll take with me as far as sales goes, right? Everybody's looking for a little something extra they can learn. Amy, hi there. And we'll just take a few more minutes as we settle in here today. Again, my name is Michelle Rockwood. I'm your host. This is Jen here. She's probably going to reach out to you at some point in the chat. Just make sure you got your name right and ask you where you are in your coach training journey. Jen's also going to come back up at the end, and she has some few prizes for us. And she will also gather your questions as we go. So I'm going to be looking at the chat here. I actually have it here on my phone, so I'm not doubling up on my screen. But she's going to be gathering your questions. So if you have a question that you want to send to just her, click on the meeting. It says right now, it says meeting group chat. But if you just clicked Jen Barnett and you send her a question, she'll share it with me at the end anonymously. So you could ask whatever it is that you desire. Okay. And on a personal note, I'll try not to get emotional, but I'm a little more melancholy, if you can believe. I'm usually pretty hyper. I'm a very enthusiastic coach, but my dog died on Monday, so I'm very melancholy today. So if anybody's lost a pet or anyone special to them, my heart goes out to you because, oh my gosh, I just can't believe how emotional it is to lose an animal. So that's just kind of where my heart is today, and I wanted to share that with you. So once again, as we dive into this training, and I'm going to share, thank you, Carrie, and I'm going to share my screen here in a minute. We're going to get formally started, but please do continue to share in the chat where you are in your coaching journey and any questions that you have. Grab a cup of tea or some coffee. I'm okay if you walk to the kitchen and grab some water so that you're settled and ready for our time together. So before any coach training, before a coaching session, before a sales call, it's really important that we tune in and we tap into how we feel. And everything I teach you in our program and the work we do together, it's all very, very important. But what matters most is how you feel about what it is you're offering and really how you feel today. Now, I shared with you, I'm a little melancholy today, but I'm also really, really excited and so honored to be here with you today. But I made sure that I closed my shades, got my light right, and centered myself before our call. And that's really important to do before a sales call. So as we dive in here today, I'm going to read to you what I read every day before a sales call or before a coaching call. And that's from Melody Beattie's Journey to the Heart. And she has a meditation every single day, and they're actually dated. And I'm not too woo, but I often find that they're just what I need. And so let's see if today's resonates with you. Go ahead and close your eyes if it feels good to you. Put your feet on the floor and just take some deep breaths as we begin here today and ground ourselves for our time together. Open up to new energy. As you change, what works for you may change too. The purpose of the journey is to open up. But with it comes the responsibility of watching how you feel, how our bodies feel in certain circumstances. With it comes the responsibility of knowing that certain things that used to work for us, certain things that used to be able to handle, may not work as well any longer. As we will change, we will want and need the energy around us to change too. We'll want to feel better, to energize us, to be good for us. At first, we may say, it never bothered me before. I don't know why I'm so sensitive now. And we may wait for our bodies and our lives to return to normal, to return to how they used to be. But you are becoming more sensitive, more open than you've ever been. You were closed. You didn't feel as much, didn't respond as much. Sometimes you weren't aware of what you were feeling or how your body reacted. And now that you're more open, your body, mind, spirit, and soul will be far more affected by what you take in. Whether it's food, drink, or the energy of a person or situation, you will feel more intensely. You may want different foods, different people, places, clothing, activities. And as your energy changes, you will likely want different energy around you. Listen to your body and emotions. And when they tell you something no longer works for you, let the old fall away. Listen to your inner guidance as your heart leads you to someplace new. And that's where I hope that we will go today, to someplace new, as we introduce you to a bit of a different way of offering your coaching to clients, a way that can fully serve and support them from the moment you say hello on a sales call. And you are in the right place today. If you are a coach in training, if you're thinking about becoming a coach, if you just graduated, anyone who's in a service-based business where you serve your clients over a period of time. Even if you're brand new to coaching or thinking about it, we're so glad you're with us. This is a picture of an amazing coach. Her name is Joy. And I'd love to share a story with you that really solidified for me the life-changing experience that a sales call can provide. Yes, a sales call. So let me set the stage for you. I was in an event in Columbus, Ohio, and I had just finished speaking for a group of coaches. I walked out the door, and this beautiful woman here with her wild eyes came running towards me. And I don't know if you're anything like me, but people look much different on that little Zoom screen than they do in person. And I got hot all over, and I was like, oh my God, who is this woman? And she sensed my hesitation, and she stepped back. She said, Michelle, it's me, Joy. See, I had hosted Joy for a sales conversation the year prior. And what that means is that Joy was interested and needed some support, and I was selling a course that I thought could help her. So we got on a call to talk about it. And when Joy saw me, all those feelings of that sales conversation came rushing back to her, and she was so excited to share them with me. And at the end of our conversation, Joy got a little teary-eyed. She looked me in the eyes and she said, Michelle, that call changed my life forever. And I walked away from that conversation going, this is sales? And this is sales. And today I get to introduce you to a way of selling that is so rich that your clients will run across the room, will call you up, will tag you in posts years later saying, thank you. The work we did together changed my life forever. So how the heck are we going to do that today, right? No easy feat in a short call. I'm going to teach you how to sell differently. It's this tiny shift that you can make while you're in coach training. In fact, I want you to make it while you're in coach training, to turn your coaching into a high ticket offer that's so easy for your clients to understand and step into. Also, during today's training, I'm going to teach you some of the tricks of the trade. I worked for a coach training program for years, and I'm going to share with you, just whisper in your ear, some of the things that you can do right now to enroll people on a call, and that includes an activation fee, to help them say yes and step into their power. And I'm going to teach you how to set yourself up for a yes, in fact, before you even say hello on a sales call. Again, those are kind of some tricks of the trade that I can share with you, just whisper in your ear. You know, a great coach really helps you understand the brilliance that you are. And I do that, and I'll start to do that today. You'll start to go, oh my gosh, here's where these core competencies apply to sales. Why didn't anybody tell me this? And that's why I'm doing this. But I'm also going to whisper in your ear and share with you some things that you never know unless you'd sold hundreds of coaching, running ads, and doing all the things. So it's going to be really fun. I want to share with you a little bit about me. Robert's from Redondo Beach, and that's actually where I started my sales journey. Right out of college, I sold real estate in one of the wealthiest communities in the world. Just incredible place where Robert gets to live today. Oh, I don't know if you're overlooking the ocean, but oh, hot damn, it's amazing. I'm also a trained journalist. I've lived and worked all over the world, including West Africa and a country called Mali, where I met my amazing husband. I once raised $1 million for the Cleveland Clinic over lunch. And all of this is just lovely. It tells you a little bit about me. But what's most important and what's relevant to you, and who was it? Was it Carrie who said she joined this training because of the title? I worked in a coach training program as faculty for 5 years, helping coaches to sell before they graduated. We didn't know any different. That's just what we did. And so I learned exactly what keeps you stuck and what roadblocks we need to get out of the way in order for us to start offering our coaching well before we graduate. And just like you, Robert, I'm sorry, you're front and screen. I'm so much more than a coach. I'm a mom to 3 boys. I drive a minivan. I'm guessing you don't drive a minivan, Robert, with 2 doors that open side by side. I love to go to the beach too and to travel. In fact, I just got back from Argentina where I spoke at the ICF conference, sharing about how the core competencies apply to sales. Absolutely amazing. And I also wrote this incredible book because honestly, I'm on a mission that goes far beyond this room. It's not okay for coaches to graduate coach training and not be able to sell their coaching with confidence and joy. That's just not okay. And so allow and to introduce my work to people all over the world. In fact, it's already translated into Spanish. This book has been just a wonderful way for me to share my work and to fast forward for my clients too, so they can step into the nitty gritty, the how to. The book helps change our mental attitude. Okay, everyone. So I have a question for you. We're going to get a little serious here for a minute. And I'd actually love for you to share this in the chat with me, please. I want to know, who are you? Not who are you, the person who raised $1 million over lunch? No, I want to know, who are you, the person who drives the minivan? I want to know, who are you, Robert? I'm so sorry, but I'm just your front and center that goes surfing in the middle of the day, right? I want to know who you are, Terrence, that helps people out with their religious journey, right? I want to know what makes you ordinary. So don't go, this isn't a trick question. I want to know what makes you ordinary. And thank you so much to everybody with your camera on. I just love seeing your beautiful face. Walter, what makes you ordinary? Do you take your coffee black? Do you garden? This is really important for what we're going to talk about as we go through how you start offering your coaching. But put it in the chat and I'll wait for you. Don't worry, I have all the time in the world. Put it in the chat. One thing that makes you ordinary. You're a mom. You're a dog owner. You ride horses. Something simple that makes you ordinary. I'm a single mom, divorced professor. Carrie. Hot damn, right? I love that. Tell me more. Mary Lou, Patty, who are you? It could just be, I am a gardener. I'm a cyclist. I'm a chef. Don't think too hard about this, everyone. I'm on the road. Okay, Yvette, this is perfect. I'm a DV survivor. Thank you, Allison. Absolutely beautiful. Tell me more. Walter, I want to know who you are. And it's something that makes you ordinary. This isn't a trick question, everybody. Tell me in the chat, who are you? I'm a fellow mom and a minivan driver. Okay, Melissa. Yes. Right? So we get each other. We know what's happening after school. We have this shared connection instantly. We're, kids to soccer mom. We have heated seats that we're very happy about, even though, it's a lame minivan. It's still awesome to us. Catherine, I want to know, who are you? Keep them coming. I'm a car lover. Okay, awesome. Jenny, what kind of cars do you like? I want to know. Oh, Terrence, you lost your dog as well. I'm so, so sorry. You're an animal lover, right? Somebody who's really sensitive. who loves connection, right? There's so much about this. We're going to set this aside. And if you didn't feel comfortable putting it in the chat, I want you to write it down because it's actually what makes us ordinary, not what makes us extraordinary, is what is going to attract clients to us, is going to help us to enroll them in our program, because you can much more resonate with that minivan driver and me than the woman who raised $1 million for the Cleveland Clinic. I'm a grandmother, Mary Lou, I love it. Jacob says, I'm a psychiatric physician assisting and helping medically underserved communities. I'm a father of 7 kids. Wow. Do we have a niche for you? And we know exactly where what we call our watering holes are going to be. Absolutely. Do you see how brilliant this is? How much this matters as we go to sell our coaching? Another really personal story, and I'm going to ask you to step up and put this in the chat. What is the biggest impact coaching has had on your life? So not the biggest impact you've had on other people's lives. No, I want to know, Terrence, like for you example, I know there's so much impact, especially in the religious community that you work in. But what about for you? There was this shift, I know it, where coaching, you went, whoa, this is cool. Think back to what that is and try to describe it in just a few years in the chat. Try to describe it. Patty, I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm so into sea glass, Patty. We have to talk about this. I'm like, it's so cool. It's actually not cool, but it is cool. Okay, so please tell me, what is the biggest impact coaching has had on your life? Robert, I love it. Grown son, you love to walk along the beach. Oh, I know exactly where you're walking. Share with me. I want to know. This is a participatory process, people. The biggest impact coaching had on me was in my marriage. So I'll get vulnerable if you will. I was in marriage counseling for years, and it wasn't until I found coaching where I thought to myself, oh, that's how you speak to yourself. That's how you speak to another person. Oh, that's how you listen, active listening skills. This is how you hear beyond the spoken word. Wow. Walter says it helped me become a better person. I love that, Walter. Melissa's like, it brought such a rich community of she found her people. Isn't that the thing, right? You guys get why I read Journey to the Heart before we got on this call. We get each other. Absolutely. And even those ICF coaches, these are our people. It helped me heal. Wow. I mean, that's a really big deal. I want you to write that down on your piece of paper. Keep them coming in the chat. Circle them. Walter can really resonate, I think. Help me listen to my wife and ask her deeper questions. Tell me more. Why is that so important to you? Something about this I'm missing. What am I getting wrong? Jacob's not a coach yet. Jacob, you have a lot to look forward to, and you're in the right place. You're in here before we have to shift everything you've learned. Help self-care during long COVID. Oh, I love that. So coaching helped you overcome a major thing in your life. Wow. So keeping in mind, and I want you to put this in the chat too, please, and I'll wait for you, my friends. How important is it? And you'd be surprised sometimes at the responses I get. How important is it for you, Walter, to share what coaching did for you with others? For you, Allison, for you to share and have other people have that same experience. Keep sharing with me. On a scale of 1 to 10, an 11, I love that. A 10, great, awesome. We have some people on this call today who are ready to sell their coaching. Sometimes we get a 6. Sometimes people go to coach training and they go there just for their own self, right? And that's often we start there, and that's okay. And sometimes we don't want to sell coaching. And even if we have this, what my mom calls a come to Jesus moment, we're like, I actually don't want to sell my coaching. I'm okay with what I got. That's a really nice realization too. Allison a 10, Jenny a 10, Terrence a 10, Walter a 10, Robert a 10. Everybody put for you in the chat, and I will wait. Put in the chat, how important is it to you? Well, for me, I really felt like coaching saved my marriage. And that's something that was really important to me. I mean, sometimes it's important to get divorced too, and that's absolutely helps you move that way. But for me, it helped me in such a huge way to love and to talk to myself that when I went to sell my coaching, I wanted everyone to have it. And when I love something, hot damn, I sing it from the rooftops, I shout it out. There is nothing that stops me because that mission, that bigger why, this isn't about me. This isn't about any, insecurities I have about the car I drive or my training or my education or the amount of money I make. This is about helping other people have that same life-changing experience to me, shift in those relationships that I had. That's my little part of making the world a better place. So I shared with you a little bit about my why and why I started selling personal coaching and I got into this work in the first place. And well, during my coach training, I had this aha moment when I really realized how damaging the single session pay as you go model can be. And we're all really familiar with this when you come and you think about the therapist's office. Well, I found myself as I do, and I'm going to share a story with you that really highlights the single session model. I was in my minivan in a parking lot and I was just bawling my eyes out, like not a pretty cry, like that ugly, ugly, ugly cry. See, I had just finished a session with my therapist for the very first time, and I had shared with her all the horrible things that were going on in my marriage. I was burning the candle at both ends. My 3 young boys were driving me crazy. And truth be told, I was on the brink of a divorce. So imagine my sadness, my deep sadness, when at the end of a 60-minute session, my therapist, me staring up at the Ivy League degree on her wall, said, "Michelle, I'd love to work with you. Please go ahead and schedule another session when you're ready." She took my payment. I left the office and I never, ever returned. Okay. So what's the big deal? What is the big deal? Put it in the chat. What is the mistake my therapist made? And what could she have done to not only help me, but to help herself grow her income and her practice at the same time? Put it in the chat. What is the mistake my therapist made? Walter says she didn't listen to me. Okay, keep going. What else? What are your guesses? What are the mistake my therapist made? She listened to me for a full hour. I word vomited all the things. There were tears. She took my money. What was the thing? Okay, keep going. Robert, I like that. No follow-up, no accountability, no call to action. She sold and didn't let you to ask to buy. Okay. Oh, Melissa, I like what I see here in the chat. What did Melissa say? She said she didn't offer a roadmap of how she could help you. We have a winner. Yes. There was no next step, no clear plan of action. She didn't wrap me in love. And it was so, so simple what she could have done to help me. Oh, Jenny, I'm so, so sorry. Yes. Sometimes they fail us in really big ways. So let's wave our magic wand, go back in time. And here's what I envision the therapist saying to me and how she could have supported me in a way that was so powerful yet so simple. And I want you to be listening. I'm going to put my finger up when I want you to pay attention to the exact thing, okay? I imagine her saying something like this: "Michelle, you're 10 years into a marriage. What you're going through is really, really hard, and I'm so, so sorry. And I cannot guarantee our work together will save your marriage, but what I can guarantee is that you show up for yourself, you're going to feel a heck of a lot better and know that you did everything for yourself and for your family. Here's what I suggest and how I typically work with clients. We normally meet every other week during a 3-month container of support. During the alternate weeks when we're not meeting, Michelle, I'm going to assign you homework. And that homework is going to be self-prescribed. It's going to be go on a date with your spouse, hang out with your kiddos one-on-one, and get some alone time for you. I charge $1,500 for a 3-month container of support. You can go ahead and get started today with your $497 activation fee. And your first of 2 payments comes out 30 days later. Let's go ahead and get you set up for that first call. Let's get it on the calendar. And let's talk about what you can do in between now and that first call together so that you feel really settled, grounded, and supported. All right, everybody. What did she do differently? Did this cost her more money? Did this cost her more time? What did she do that helped support me and help wrap me in love so that I could know, okay, no, everything's not perfect, but I have what Melissa said, right? I have this roadmap. Put in the chat the benefits to me of this simple change in offer. What are the benefits? She charged me, just so you know, real life story, $125 an hour. $125. She has a PhD from an Ivy League. $125 an hour. Crazy town, right? What are the benefits to me? Put it in the chat. Allison says, you know what to expect. Oh my gosh, yes. When you know, it's even just like with a child, right? When they know what to anticipate when they get to school, what they know what the weekend's going to look like, it helps calm their central nervous system. They know where to go for support, where to reach out. Even having that date on the calendar. Oh my gosh, I can calm down. Having that homework, right? Now ICF says don't assign homework, but I am the client. I get to assign homework to myself. She can ask these thoughtful questions. Walter says, what are these, tell me more. What do you want? Robert says, how can I use my active listening skills? Yeah, absolutely. She gave me hope. Hell, it might not work, but there's a chance that it does. And what we're going to explore together, somebody's a divorcee coach right in here, or they've been divorced. We might find out that the path forward is not actually what we desired. Isn't that something we find out in coaching? Oh my gosh, where I wanted to go wasn't what I thought. Yes, we could find that out together. Okay. Hope and potential path to betterment. Beautiful. She found out why I would want to come back. Patty, I really like that. Let's break it down and let's make it even more simple. I want you to think about, not only did she give me a chunk of time, she also helped me give me a start date, and she helped me make it easier for her. So now she had taken that activation fee and those payments were going to come automatically. So we set money aside once I said yes. And now it wasn't about the money or the payment or the transaction. It was about supporting me. So what we call this 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, heck, 1 month container of support, right? This isn't a program where we're teaching somebody something. Instead, this is a container of support. It's a client coaching partnership. Write this down. What makes this so simple? We have a specific start date with our clients, not, okay, go ahead, here's my calendar. You schedule whenever you want. We have a very specific date. And in fact, what we could do is we could schedule out all those calls. Oh my gosh, think about how settled and grounded you'd feel. What's more is we have a specific end date. Now, that doesn't mean you need to end after 3 months, but we're going to sure as heck reevaluate after 3 months if we want to keep going. And this really mentally ties us into reaching our goals. One thing about therapy, and I love therapy, absolutely, but it's this continuous. I'll come next week. I'll do it the next week. I'll do it the next week. When you have an end date in mind, just like you did in your coach training program, just like you did when you went to university, we need to complete our goals and our tasks, and coaching is forward thinking by a very specific end date. This is really powerful. And if you take anything away from this training, please, this exchange of money is so powerful, this activation fee. I remember when I took a $500 activation fee from a client for the very first time, and I did everything I teach you here. We scheduled that first call together. She hired a nanny. No joke. We hadn't had our first meeting. She scheduled out all the calls and she met with her husband and explained to him the type of support that she would need during our time together. Talk about power. When you don't take that money from that person, and I'll share with you, it doesn't have to be 500, it can be 1,000 or 100, whatever feels good to you, there's power in that. And it feels really good and it helps them to take action. So everybody raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Come on, Robert. Come on, Catherine. Come on, Jen. No more single sessions. No more single sessions. Or worse, packages. My mentor, Laura, used to say single session or packages or single sessions at a discount. If you ever have somebody pulling out their calculator and going, oh, you're charging more than my Ivy League trained therapist, or you're charging more than my physician, you haven't done your job right. And that's what I teach you, is how to host a proper sales call, because you help them understand that the brilliance of coaching isn't in that session. It's in what takes place in between. And you're not coming to coaching for me to fix you. You're coming to realize how brilliant you are to step into that marriage, out of that marriage, into that job, into that promotion, that $25,000 promotion you've missed over for 3 years. That's what we're doing here, not that single session. All right, deal. I love that y'all raised your hand. I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to drive this point home just in case it's not in there 100%. I'm going to drive it home with Allison. I want you to meet Allison here. She's just graduated coach training program, or she's in coach training, and she's like, whoa, $75 an hour? That feels pretty good for coaching. I don't mind that. That's a great hourly rate. Fantastic. It feels good. Okay, Allison sells a single session. And then she realizes if she wants to make even $50,000 as a new coach, guess how many sessions she's going to need to sell? Any guesses? 55 a month. It is heavy. It is hard. It is impossible. It's not going to happen. 100,000%, that's not going to happen. When Allison realizes that when she just shifts how she offers her coaching to clients, how she serves and supports them, how she frames that sales conversation, and she charges $1,500 for a 3-month container of support, she needs to sell 2 a month, 2 clients a month. And guess what, everybody? We don't have hundreds of calls like the companies I've worked for in order to enroll a handful of people a month. In order to sell 55 sessions, we need to sell to the 2, to the 1, or the 3 calls we have a month. And we need to sell them at a level that sustains us, that helps them reach their next level and feel amazing. So when Allison started selling her containers of support at $1,500, she could just sell a few a month and it would feel amazing. And guess what? She quickly doubled her price. We have this rules of 3, sell 3 times and then double your price. $3,000 for a 3-month container of support is actually the average of what coaches charge. And that's US rates that I'm sharing. So for some of you in coach training, how can we break this down so that you can sell in a way that feels really good to you? Now, I'm actually want to know what feels good to you, and put that number in the chat. If you think 1,500 sounds like crazy, that's way too much. If you think that's not enough, tell me in the chat. And as you do that, so I'm going to wait for everybody. What is a container of support for you? And maybe it's 1 month, maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months. What amount comes out of your head? Don't think about it too hard, but put it in the chat. What amount comes out of your head? Let me know, Terrence. Let me know, Robert. Let me know, Patty, Carrie. Yvette, put that in the chat. What amount feels good to you? 750. Yes, I love that. Carrie, yes. So what would Carrie do? Carrie, this feels good to her. And a trick of the trade, if you're having trouble, coming up with the number, 10,000 per month, Allison, hell yes. So I want you to put the amount that's half of your goal. So if your goal is 1,500, put half. Is your goal is 3,000 a month, put half. And we can actually break this down later as to exactly what it is. But that's a really nice place to start. So if when you get out of coach training program or when you get your certification or that whatever that fear gremlin is in your mind, halving your price right now is a really great way to start. And so you can work towards that goal. 1,500. Okay, Mary Lou. So let's say you were selling like Carrie is for 1,200 and that feels really good to her. What would her activation fee be? 400. You can go ahead and get started with a $400 activation fee, and your second of 3 payments comes out 30 days later. That feels really good. A confused mind doesn't buy. And so we want to make it super easy for our clients and for them to quickly move away from getting caught up in the nitty-gritty of the money and to start thinking about the brilliance and the next step that coaching is going to help them step into. 2,400. Amazing. I love that. So we have some different things for that activation as we get into those bigger prices. And Allison, we can talk about that further. So if you're doing $10,000 a month, what would be a good activation? And sometimes we can even push the start date out by 2 weeks or a month to help us with those payments, or we can break those down in a way that feels really good. So why $1,500? Anybody, I bet you have some guesses here. Why $1,500? Put it in the chat and thank you. Keep those numbers going because there's something really nice mentally if you put that in the chat. Mary Lou, $500. Awesome. So anybody, any guesses why $1,500 is the magic number? And it's not the magic number, it's the my number. But why do you think I chose $1,500 when I first started selling my coaching? Come on, Walter, Patty, Carrie, I know you have some guesses. There's no wrong answer here. Why 1,500? Why 1,500? You weren't comfortable with yourself? I should have sold it for more, Walter. Is that what you were thinking? You should have sold it for $3,000. You're right. I mean, I wasn't fully confident in selling my coaching at the level I should have. That felt good. Divisible by 3, Carrie, ding, ding, ding. You got 1. Awesome. Not too high or not too low. Patty, you nailed it. Yes, it was a little bit of a stretch for me, and it was a little bit of a stretch for our clients. Now, we don't want to sell a client something that's so far out of their comfort zone that we don't set them up for success. But we want to nudge them enough so that they show up on time, ready to do the work in the period of time. Amazing, you're getting it. Yes. So first off, this number just came about by kind of accident, but I was working as a high ticket closer for a coach training company, enrolling people into, I think it was about a $15,000 program at the time. And I knew some things from my work as a high ticket closer, such as we need to make those payments really easy. We needed to make that, yes, nice round numbers, a number that feels good to people. And we also, just like you said here, divisible by 3, not too high or not too low, Patty. I love that. Great job. Easy peasy. And so, yeah, exactly. It was an easy activation fee. So $500 is actually a really nice number. We typically don't have to move money. We don't have to generally talk to a spouse. That just happens to be a number that somebody could say yes to on the first call. And that was important to me to help people step into in a really easy and thoughtful way. It was an easy payment plan, right? So that first payment comes out. The next 30 days later, we want those payments to be automated. And you're right, it was divisible by 3. So that's, you got it. It was, again, that minor stretch. So we have some good students here. You're totally getting, you're totally picking this up. And so 100%, absolutely. And Walter says, well, it depends on who you're marketing it to. And you're right, Walter. And one of the things I teach in my program is it's not your job to decide what somebody can and can afford. It's your job to present the opportunity to them. You have no idea what kind of money I have. You have no idea how much Robert has or Catherine has or Jen has or Terrence has. And it's really none of your business, but it's your business to present the opportunity to them and believe that they are whole, capable to walk through and take that next step if it feels aligned to them and if it feels aligned to you. Case in point, I have a client I'm working with, and coaches, especially business coaches, they love to qualify the client. Can they afford it? Right? Super silly. And instead, she learns from me, and she learns to set aside your own ideas about what somebody can and can afford. And in the last week, they enrolled 2 people into their high price program. It's $3,000 a month, continual, who haven't even started their business. So imagine if you came in with this preconceived notions, and that's a lot of the work we do, is how do we get what we think somebody should pay, or how they should pay, or what they're capable of, and instead we present the opportunity. So I shared this as I was working in a coach training program teaching students. I had so many clients coming through all the time. And so I said, hey, here's what I did. Give it a try. And sure enough, nobody said no. There weren't these objections. And you didn't need to deal with the money objection at this level. And so that's why I invite you to start here as well. When we start getting into $10,000, $20,000, we had a client sell a $50,000 program earlier this year. There's a little more to it. But when you can sell in a way where there's no objections and you can focus on delivery and things, especially the very first times, like that $1,200 number, I love that. And it also takes the pressure off of you. So if it's too high of a number, you're going to feel a lot of pressure to perform or deliver, or for them to have some crazy results. And instead, we want to start really building our business in a way that feels sustainable and feels good to you. So that's why these numbers are so important, although we'd like to take it simple. Lisa stepped into this really quickly, but you know what she said, and she's a parenting coach, absolutely amazing. And she said, you know what feels good to me, Michelle, is a $100 activation fee. So even though she sells her coaching for $1,500, it felt really good to leave for Lisa, for these parents to get started and to do the onboarding process with $100. So that's what she does. And I'll share a little bit more about Lisa, but what I love so much is when people sell their program, they're super excited about the money, and that's fantastic. But Lisa was like, I could not, and she's literally, it was like, I recorded this video for you, Michelle. I could not believe how deep we went on the sales conversation. She couldn't believe the vision that she was able to bring her clients through on a sales call. And that helps set them up for success on the very next call. Think about my therapist and just letting me walk out. What if you tapped into this vision of their heart's desire, like I teach you to do on a sales call, so that the very next call, think about how further you are ahead and how brilliant and lovely that feels. Remind me to tell you what time Lisa takes calls, because I love this. She also, I'm going to forget, so I'm just going to tell you now, we teach you in the program to send a gift. And in fact, when we start working with you, which I sure hope we do, we send you out a welcome gift right away. It's, again, something tangible that you can hold in your hands. And it really just solidifies that next step, or that you're doing something together, especially when we're working virtually. And Lisa, in her brilliance, thought, oh, what can I send parents? And so she sends these adorable socks on the foot. It says, you are an amazing mom. You are an amazing dad. How cool is that? Terrence, can you think of something special that you would send to your clients that's really specific to the work that you're doing? Carrie, Patty, Walter, what's something, and you don't have to write this down, but just think about what could a little book that you send, a little token, a little crystal that you send, a religious emblem, if that feels good to you. But think about how special it is, especially these days, to get something in the mail. Yvette, is there something that Mary Lou, love having you have that camera on, thank you, that would feel good for your clients to receive? And now you think about the richness of what it is you're doing, and that it's really something tangible in their hands. I want to share with you Rachel too. And she was one of the first people who actually came and learned the unscripted sales method outside of coach training programs specifically that I worked in. And she wasn't a coach. And she instead was a copywriter. She helped people with copywriting. And she said, Michelle, I don't think so. This is not going to work for me. I work with business professionals and they are not going to want to tap into their heart's vision on the sales call and go deep like this. And I said, okay, all right, well, how about you give it a try? And I can still remember getting on the Zoom call with Rachel after she enrolled her first client after learning the unscripted sales 5 steps to choice method. She said her client put both feet on the floor, closed their eyes and said, okay, wow, we're really doing this? That was her reaction on a sales call from a client. So think about if you're selling any service-based product, think about how different you are. People shop around, even with coaching. Think about how different you are when you can create such a brilliant sales experience that they go, wow, this was a lovely experience. And think about the other calls that they have where the person just moved on and said, here's what I charge per session, right? Absolutely, you'd want to pay more. Walter, yes. Gift cards in the past. Walter says a gift card, right? It can be simple, a mug, right? I love this mug I have. It says, don't get your tinsel in a tangle, right? Maybe it's the holidays and you send something just as simple as a mug, or you noticed, gosh, we had a new client and she sent these 2 books because a woman had mentioned hobbies she wanted to get into. So the coach listened, can you imagine? And sent 2 books to help her step into her hobbies. The coachee was so moved that not only had somebody heard her, but they had taken action to help her step into it. It's just so beautiful. Oh my gosh, DoorDash at the first meeting. I love that. Oh, that is so, so cool. Absolutely. I have now posted, and I promised you I'd share with you some of these just tips that you can take and you can implement right now. So work we do together is so rich, and I get to go, okay, what do you do on a coaching call to do this? Okay, here's how you do it on a sales call. I help you understand the brilliance you already are, and that fast forward the learning process for us. But sometimes I'm also going to go, psst, you only want to take calls at certain hours of the day, or you want to limit your availability. Some things I know that unless you'd spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in ads, or you've had hundreds of sales come through and you understand these mistakes that have been made, there's just no way you could know this without having done the work. So what's nice is not only I get to share with you the brilliant salesperson that you are. Yes, every person here is brilliant if you care and you're an amazing coach. But I get to share with you some of the tricks of the trade that I've learned over the years to put up boundaries for yourself that actually invite your clients to step up into their brilliance as well. And one of these is limiting your availability. I know right away when I go to work with teams, if they've had proper sales training. We want to limit our availability to be on our calendar from 3, 5, 7 days max. And that's not because you want to trick them into jumping on a call with you quick and taking action, but we're humans and we get busy, we get distracted, and you typically have 3 days after somebody has experienced something with you in order for them to take the next step, which in this case is book a call. So you can do that in your calendar. I can help you with that if you need, but limit your availability. And that's just one way to eliminate no-shows and help people say yes on the first call. You want to host sales calls at times that feel your best. Now, I used to take sales calls at 5 p.m. I have 3 little boys. Do you think that felt good to me? I had to turn on the TV and do some other aligned things in order to get the kids quiet. I was making dinner. I was busy. I was carpool for that other minivan mom, right? It was an impossible time. It also wasn't a time that I could provide coaching. So when I said to myself, I need to host sales calls when I feel my very best. And since I was hosting so many, I started to realize at 9 and 11 a.m. is when the most people were enrolling. I was really introspective and really reflected on what worked because I had such limited time. When I first started, I only had 4 hours a day. So I had to work so smart. So when I host sales calls, and you'll see today, I hosted this call between 9 and 11 my time. I'm in Denver. When I feel at my best, that's when people enrolled, because sales is a transfer of energy. And when we feel amazing, the other person feels it on the other end of the call. For Lisa, that was 8 at night. Lisa's a retiree. She knew that parents, and when she wanted to coach, was actually at 8 at night. Isn't that brilliant? And so when the parents put their kids to bed, they could both be on the call. She could take one call instead of 2 sales calls. She could get that activation fee. And it was at a time when her house was quiet and she felt settled and ready to connect. So there's no right way. There's a long story to this as to how this came about, but essentially I needed to fit in 3 calls to get my kiddo from preschool, and I had to narrow them down to 45 minutes. But when I did, something weird happened. I enrolled more people. And I thought, what the heck is happening? And I noticed I was being nice. I was letting clients go into story. I was letting them share with them all the things that were going on in my life. I was trying to coach them around the thing and just show and prove all the value that I had. But instead, when I showed up like a professional, when I honored their time and I honored mine, and I hosted calls in this 45-minute window, it helped keep us on track and keep us moving towards our goal of a sales call. Anybody know the goal of a sales call? Put it in the chat for me. What's the goal of a sales call? Come on. Close the sale. Walter, okay. Anybody else? Put it in the chat. Robert, Catherine, Jen, join us. Yvette, Carrie, Patty. Okay, keep going. What is the goal of a sales call? Danae, Jacob. Oh, what a pretty name, Danae. Deborah, Mary Lou. What is the goal of a sales call? Okay. All right, Patty, I like what I hear. Patty says, enroll them in what you have for their reasons. Melissa, I'm so glad you're here. What is the goal? Violet, tell us the goal of a sales call. What is it? To get them excited? Okay. To overcome their objections? Okay. I love this. To get the person to buy? Oh my goodness. This is really, really eye-opening. Because most of you are wrong. And I say that with love. I say that with love. The goal of a sales call is not a yes. The goal of sales call is to help the client make a choice, yes or no, as to their next best steps. Think about the energy you exude on a sales call when your goal is to say the right thing, offer the right thing, show up as the person who looks the right look. You stop getting curious. You start talking about yourself. Your energy is different. But when we're confident and we're grounded and we'll say, hey, I might not be the right coach for you. I'm not sure what your goals are. We've both met here for me to serve and support you and help you make a choice, yes or no, as to your next best steps in a 45-minute call. It feels amazing. Terrence, I know we want to get the person to buy and we want a new client, but we actually don't know that. We don't know if they're a right fit for us. We don't know if they're coachable. We don't know if they should be in therapy or coaching, right? That's something we're going to talk to them about here on the call. We don't know if the container of support or the level we work at is their next best steps. We don't know that. So our goal coming in can't be a yes. It's instead to understand what they truly desire and to see if it's a good fit for both of you and to help them make a choice, not a maybe. We don't want to share information. And Melissa, with love, we don't want to overcome their objections. This isn't something to overcome to be won. Instead, we want to help understand and help break down the barriers so that they feel comfortable talking to us about money, life, death, divorce, trauma, things that don't, they wouldn't normally be comfortable sharing with them. So when you host a proper aligned sales call, you won't get these normal objections that we're used to talking about and learning about. Instead, you'll get buying questions. How do I? What time? When does it start? What can I expect? How can I talk to my spouse about this? Can you support me? And we celebrate those objections. In fact, we have a training on celebrating objections, and we don't let you come to the training until you've learned the 5 steps to choice and you've learned how to host a proper embodied sales call. because that is how you help a client overcome their own objections and to show up ready to step into their next level. It's not a fancy line. It's not a script at the end of the call. It's nothing like that, but instead doing a proper aligned job. So let me share with you a little bit and then put your questions in the chat and we're going to get them all answered today. I set aside even more time to make sure we can connect today. Laurel did this while she was in coach training. I've shared with you, I've worked with hundreds, and Laurel was one of them who was in coach training when we started working together. And I worked for the coach training program, and Laurel said, you know, I want to do a 6-week program first. And then she had so much fun and so much success there that she moved up and she moved that same client from that 6-week program into a 3-month, 2450 program. And she was like, oh my gosh. There's something really magical about coach training that helps you have more guts. And there's just something, you're being reborn in a really beautiful way that helps you step out of your comfort zone. And there's this safety blanket where you say, hey, well, I'm still in training. I'm going to give this a go. And you just put it out there and you say, hey, I'm offering half price while I'm still in coach training. And this feels amazing to me. And there's that limited amount of window, right? Because your coach training is going to end. And so there's this urgency. So that's why we really found that coach training is the best time. And in fact, I was working in a coach training program and took a really high profile person, one of the top coach training programs in the world, and nobody had sold their coaching before they had graduated. And that was the moment I knew 40%, meanwhile, back in the training program I was working at, and me as the sales coach were selling. And I said, this is not okay. This is not okay. And I want to put myself out of business. Every coach training program should be teaching you this. I should not teach you this. They should teach you how your core competencies align to the sales conversation, because wow, do they do brilliantly. It is their job. And I'm here to fill the gap until that happens. And I want to put myself out of business, not because I don't love what I do, but because clients miss out when you don't step into this. And when you don't step into this before you graduate, the chances of your success go down and down and down. And the chances of the clients that you impact, and that is my impact in the world, is your clients, goes down and down and down, and less clients get your support. Some clients come into this and they step in right away, like Jordan, and they just do it. They just learned the 5 steps to choice. And last time I was sharing about Jordan, he enrolled a client at the very moment I was speaking about him on a training. So let's see who he is enrolling today. I love, he quietly just shares and tags me in the posts celebrating his new client. He's a speech coach and he's absolutely brilliant. Other people will take longer. Sometimes it will take you a few weeks or a few months, but I want you to know that you are ready now. And in fact, you were probably ready yesterday, but I want you to put in the chat, what's stopping you from selling your coaching? Put it in the chat for me. I want to know all of the excuses that you or fear gremlins have given yourself about selling your coaching. Don't hold back. Patty says me, not knowing where to market. Carrie, it's not awesome. I love that. What's stopping you? So often people get all these things in the way. Come on, put it in the chat. A fear of failure. What if they reject me, right? It feels so personal. Reaching out to people. Am I bothering them? That's almost the number one thing, right? I'm bothering them. Where do I seek these clients? How do I market? What do I say? What do I offer? I really find it interesting, and keep going. I want to know, Mary Lou, Jacob, Allison, Danae, put in the chat, what's stopping you from selling your coaching? Me, myself, and I, fantastic. How do I start? Absolutely. Where do I even start, right? Our coach training programs don't tell us that. How do I even start? Do I build a website? Everybody, we put all of these things in our mind. And what these are is these are really fear gremlins. And they're our body's way of keeping us safe, of not allowing us to step into that rejection, right? And to feel that struggle and that challenge. Absolutely. And they keep us busy. And so often we do all the things, the next certification, I'll be ready when, I'll be ready when. But the truth is, you are ready now. And I sure as heck hope this training has helped you to really understand that you don't need to wait till you graduate. It's actually better to do it before you graduate, that your core competencies apply so brilliantly. And that's what we teach you in the course that we offer. I want you to know that even if you're not ready to sell, when you practice in containers of support instead of single sessions, that gets you ready faster. So for those of you who are just coming into coach training, when you first start practicing for the first times, do it in a 1, 3, 6-month container of support with people. And then you're not selling air, right? It doesn't feel like you're selling something that doesn't exist, right? You're actually selling something and you know the brilliance of a container of support versus the single session. Your brain has evidence. So super, super neat. Awesome. Keep those questions coming in the chat. Give them to Jen. We have some prizes for everybody to stay to the end. And I'd love to share with you, if you're open to it, how we work with clients and how we support them and your next steps going forward. Our goal is for you to sign your very next client at $1,500 or more. And so that might be $10,000, that might be $750, $1,200. Sign your next client in a way that feels really amazing to you with this container of support. We want you to know what to say, how to offer your pricing, how to share what it is that you do, and how to help your client tap into their vision like never before on that sales call. I always want my clients to see a return on their investment really, really quickly when we work together within weeks. So that's why I love that very next client you sign feels so good. We want you to host sales calls so joy-filled you can't wait to host them. So some of the reasons why we don't actually invite people to sales calls is subconsciously, and this has been mentioned in the chat, is we're not excited about it. We don't know what to say on a sales call. We don't know the journey to bring them on. And so we want you to go crazy, right? Emailing, texting, all the things. And we show you how to do that to invite people onto a call. Then what does that calendar look like? You feel so confident and you host such joy-filled calls. We want you to know, yes, who was it in the chat that said, where do I see clients and where do I market? Allison, this is so fantastic and so important. Where are those watering holes? And that's actually our training this month. Every month we have a training on 5 ways to find clients. And it's really, where are our watering holes? For a physician on this chat, that's going to look a lot different from if you're doing religious coaching or it's your church. Where are your people hanging out? How do you get there? How do you invite yourself there? And what kind of workshops and trainings can you offer to help people step into that? So that's our training this month. And then we have a challenge around it. But how do you prospect even before you're certified? What we really found is there's some safety in saying, until I'm certified, before I'm certified, I'm doing my beta program. That feels really, really good to folks. In our training program, the way we deliver, and we really support adult learner. And Jenny, you said you were trying to figure out your exact niche. This is actually why we want you to do, why we suggest clients do it this way instead of having a niche, is so that you can find out your niche. So when I started selling my coaching, I wanted to work with women who were going back to work after kids, because that's where I was. And that felt really good to me. And it was awesome. But I quickly moved away from that and it didn't feel good anymore. So imagine if I had spent all my money on a website, on marketing material, on getting everything just right. We want to work with at least 3 to 5 clients in our suspected niche. And this is actually where what's ordinary about you comes back into play, because this is people in your gardening club. This is people, your car enthusiasts. This is people who are horse lovers. If you're a horse lover, this is where you will find those first 3 to 5 clients, is what actually makes you really ordinary, and people can resonate with that. But knowing, and I'll speak more about that, and I can answer more questions on niches at the end, because I think that's really important and a trap a lot of people fall into. And one of our another excuse for stepping out and selling coaching, right? We offer live coaching calls every other week, no surprise, during our coach training or during our training program. In between calls, you have on-demand modules, PDF resources. We have a 5 steps to choice sales call guide. We have steps on creating your offer. We have overcoming objections, which I don't call them overcoming objections, celebrating objections worksheets. We have letters for you to send out to your clients and templates and so much more. I'll explain. But that's the work you're going to do in between our time together. We have real-time Voxer support. I'll share with you what that is, but Voxer is a walkie-talkie app that I suggest that you use with your clients. It's such a nice way for them to casually message you. Can you imagine trying to get me on a call to help you with something? We'd have to schedule 3, 5 a week out. And what if your sales calls tomorrow? Michelle, what do I price? Michelle, they said maybe. Michelle, I'm feeling so nervous. You can message me and I can talk you through it. And mostly we celebrate together on that Voxer app. It's really, really fun. I'll share with you more about that. I'm a mom. I have 3 kids. I learn in my minivan. It's hard for me to log into a portal, watch a video, and sit still. I want to be doing dishes or folding clothes or driving kids around as I learn. I also like to listen to things on repeat. I like to listen more than once to make sure there's always something that I miss. So we have a members only podcast behind a paywall. We give you a code so that you can listen to these trainings. Our job is not that you buy it and this sits and rots on a shelf. Our job is for you to consume this information, learn how to do it, and enroll your very next client into a $1,500, $3,000, $5,000, whatever program feels good to you for that container of support. And that members only podcast helps you get there. So I also work with sales teams, and guess what? They learn this exact same method. In fact, they log into the portal, they're on the Voxer app. They learn my 5 steps to choice, which is just brilliant and helps them sell their coaching. I just worked with a new team that I stepped into, and her goal at the end of 3 months was, and they've had training that they've spent well over $20,000 for in the past without results. Our goal that first month was, by the end of 3 months rather, was 25% enrollment rate. That very first month, we got 33% enrollment rate. We're in the 3rd month right now with this client, and they're at 60% enrollment rate. Crystal, one of their brilliant coaches, just enrolled a client at their highest level, which is $5,000 a month. $5,000 a month. Incredible. In one 45-minute sales call, and that's reoccurring monthly. It's not just one payment. The same method that I teach coaches, you learn in the program. So we have those on-demand modules that I explained. They are beautiful, brilliant. We have those live coaching calls. This is a time for you to go out and breakout rooms for you to practice this. They're just the right size, so it's not too big, not too small. We get to know you and serve and support you on these calls. In fact, oftentimes we can't get off the calls. Yesterday we were on for 2 hours, and that's because people have questions and they want support and they want to share their wins. And it feels so good to say, hey, I blocked off this time. And if you want to stay on, I sure as heck am going to stay on. We have a client who's a massage therapist, any personal trainers, massage therapists, Reiki practitioners, and Tina's integrating this into her work now. And that's a lot of my background. So I'm able to share with her how she can do that really quickly. And we were able to stay on at the end of the call. And that members only podcast, you can decide which platform feels really good to you. So again, we have live coaching calls, we have on-demand modules, real-time Voxer support, members only podcast. This is well over a $20,000 or a $10,000 value, well over. And then we have those CCE credits. So anybody who's an ICF coach can also come in and get those 16 CCE credits, which is just amazing. And we actually just got this about 2 months ago. And our first client, Caroline, just finished. So we're so excited to celebrate. She got all of her credits done and she was so excited. She was messaging me on Voxer and said, hey, share this on social media. So we were really excited. Imagine getting CCE credits for your sales course. So we want you, again, enroll nearly every client you speak with. It's also about turning away unaligned clients. We don't work with everybody. We're going to up-level ourself, our industry. We want you to confidently price your services for maximum impact, right? And income for you. And we want you to host sales calls like Joy that your clients remember for the rest of their lives. We also, in our program, offer 100% money back guarantee. If you come in and this isn't something that feels aligned to you or was something that doesn't feel right, we'll give you back your money 100%. So I want you in here. I want to support you. I want you to enroll your next client for $1,500. Who was it in the chat that's going to enroll their next client for $10,000? Because we're going to be voxing a lot because we're going to get to that really quickly. You're going to love this 5 steps to choice and embodiment exercise on a sales call. I actually teach you how to do it. It's so, so cool. And I just love, if you can't tell, the work that I do. This is a total value of over $10,000. It actually doesn't even come close. The price of this program is typically $3,000. As we step into the CCE credit and we start distributing those first credits, we are so excited to offer you this program for $1,500. I love what I do. I love you selling your program. I love you making back your investment on your very first sale. We have Sylvia came in the program and she actually heard me speak in ICF Argentina and ICF Converge in Florida. And she had a client reach out to her because she was just listed on her website of her coach training program. And she said, Sylvia, I'd like 3 sessions. Normally, Sylvia would say, no problem, right? Sure, fantastic, great, I have a sale. Instead, she'd gone through the training. She knew the 5 steps to choice. And she said, hey, I work differently. Let's go ahead and schedule a time in the next 3 to 5 days for you to jump on a call with me. And I'll walk you through what it looks like and why it's so important to even move beyond that single 3 sessions. So Sylvia was able to walk this client through a heart-centered embodied sales call, enroll her in a 3-month, $1,500 program. She was beyond excited. She had been in the program for 2 weeks. Sylvia's the one who sent her client those books. She screenshotted to me. I mean, she's just overjoyed. She had actually had a private 30-minute session with me that she had won in a drawing. And we just spent the whole call going, oh my gosh, this was amazing. Oh my gosh, this was amazing. Thank you so much. She had been to so many trainings. She was an ICF coach. She had done so many single sessions. And she said, nobody told me. Nobody told me how to do this. Nobody told me where my core competencies applied to the sales call. They didn't tell me establish and maintain agreements is important on a sales call, just like it is on a coaching call. It's the very first thing you do. And so I'm here to tell you, I'm here to not just work with you. I want to work with you. I would love to support you, but I'm here to change our industry because your coach training program should be teaching you this. Every single program should teach you how to align your core competencies, how to create a container of support, how to articulate what you do and serve and support the heck out of your clients. Because guess what? That $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 you spent on coach training doesn't help the world if you can't articulate what you do. It doesn't help the world or save the next marriage or build the next business or create the better parent or spouse if you don't know how to share your work. Here's what we did today, everybody. You now know how to turn your coaching into a high ticket offer that sells with ease. We get even more into this in the program, exactly what you're going to offer, what you're going to say, what your pricing is, help you articulate your why. We actually did that yesterday. You've already understood the power of an activation fee. You've raised your right hand and said, hey, I'm going to take that money from that client because it empowers them. It helps them step up, move money to the side for them to step into their brilliance. That is our goal. I've taught you how to set yourself up for a yes with those 45-minute sales calls, blocking off that time, all those things. You've started to learn just a few, and I go into way more detail in the course about things you can do that I learned from 1,000 sales calls, 5 years of high ticket sales, millions in coaching sold, over now 400 coaches served to help you set yourself up for success. I want to make this as easy as possible for you. Scan this code. I know many of you are in coach training. I want you to make back your money in this program before you even pay off the program. How would that feel? You're like, okay, that sounds amazing. That very first client, we're going to talk about where to reach out, what to say, how to share that you're a coach in that series. And I'll even share my screen with those of you who want to stay to the end, and we can go and we can look at those modules together. We have recorded calls for you to listen to. So you can pull up the 5 steps to choice and you can listen to me sharing my very first offers with people. I mean, it's so cool. And you're like, oh my gosh, look at how she got into rapport, or look at her bring the client through that embody and envisioning. Look at how she activated that yes and how simple it was. And pretty much you'll look at your clock and you go, oh my God, that was 45 minutes. You'll hear Shayna share her call from years ago. It was about 2 years ago when she was selling at similar to this price. And she just tagged me in a post earlier this year and sold her $50,000 course. Holy moly. This starts here, but the sky is the limit. You have no idea what you're capable of. You have no idea what kind of impact you're going to have on the world. Jen, also, I see some of you trying to scan that code. If you want, you can, Jen will drop in the chat if she hasn't already. Oh, there you go. That link. And you scroll down to the bottom and you can enroll. And then right away, we'll send you that gift. You'll get access to the portal. You can access the on-demand modules. We put you in that LinkedIn group. We have a buddy for you, an accountability buddy, so you could practice this. So I know how you learn. I know what gets you stuck. This is not my first rodeo. We need to actually do the work and have somebody with us to support us. So now you get on a call and you practice with somebody and they say, oh, that price just doesn't feel right. And I teach you how to practice your price and your activation fee in a way that feels really good to you. You want to be able to say, the sky is blue, the grass is green, my program is $20,000. You want it to flow and to just feel really amazing and embodied to you in your heart center. Okay, I have bonuses for you. But first off, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I would love to answer any questions that you have. And then spoiler alert, I shared those bonuses too soon. But Jen, we do have some prizes for people and some questions we want to make sure to get answered. And I want to honor your time as I am a serious talker. And Walter, I see you're messaging me privately, and I'm sorry I can't pull it up fast enough. Yes, absolutely. So no, I'm not, Walter. You keep all the money you make. I want you to keep all your money, Yes. So often, sometimes I'm like, why aren't people... Because at first people will reach out and they'll go, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Here's who I enrolled. And we'll kind of troubleshoot those first clients and making sure they're onboarded properly. And how can we stop, second thoughts and all those things. But quickly they realize you did this, Robert did this, Patty did this, Walter did this, Carrie did this, Yvette did this, not me, right? I'm the guide and I help you. But along the way, you're like, I grew my coaching. I help that person step in. I'm the coach and I just help you shine a mirror on yourself and realize your brilliance. So yeah, you're going to thank me in the future, but you'll just probably be like Shayna and tag me in a little post and going, oh yeah, BT Dubs, $50,000 client. And I was like, really, so it's so fun, the work we do. Jen, can you queue up a few of those questions for me? Do we talk about marketing materials at all, social media, videos, etc.? Carrie asks. So Carrie, we absolutely do this. And I'm going to really push you. Oftentimes our fear gremlins can give ourselves busy work and to suggest that we do all these things until we sell our coaching. So if you come to me and you say, I've sold my coaching for $1,500 or more to 3 to 5 clients, I'm ready to learn about a lead magnet. I'm ready to step into creating my first website. I know that this is what I do. I'm a lawyer. I want to work with lawyers. I'm good here, right? Yes, we have an entire series of modules. We have a partner we work with that is brilliant, that helps you yes, absolutely. But our goal is for you to sell to 3 to 5 clients first. That busy work feels really good. We could take up all your time with that, but I want you to make money as a coach. And so that's what I'm going to ask you to do first. Okay. Absolutely. Jen, my dear, are we ready?
Yes. All right. So the first question I got was, I just started my coach training. Is it too soon to join the program?
No. Who is that in, who's brand new? Even if you're before coach training, we've found that typically the best time is about 1 to 3 months into coach training. So about the time when you go to practice and you start practice coaching, that's when I want you to step into this. One thing, as you know, I have a little bit of a soapbox. I get really mad at coach training programs because they think you're too busy, you're not ready. They don't realize you're lawyers, physicians, you name it, personal trainers. You have had this oftentimes really rich career, and you are capable of learning a simple 5 steps to choice sales conversation that aligns so beautifully. It's not something different. It's a modification of the coaching conversation to bring somebody to choice in 45 minutes, not to coach them around their problems, but to coach them around the decision to get support. And so ideally, if I could get you 3 months, 2 or 3 months in when you're just starting to practice coach, that would be the ideal time for me. But it's better sooner than later. It's never, of course, too late, but get your butt in here. Let's get you selling to your very next client. You have these sales skills for life. No matter where you go or what you do, you're going to use this in a job interview. You're going to use this in your copywriting business, and your coaching business, even if you're, anyway, you get the idea. Sorry, give you the next one. Yvette, it's nice to see your beautiful face. We're so glad you're here.
So is this only for ICF trained coaches?
No, absolutely not. And in fact, for about 4 years, we taught without the core competencies. I introduced the core competencies a year ago at ICF Converge, and people went so crazy for them. And I knew, and I had always naturally taught them, that I formalized them into the training. So we actually have a track. If you are not an ICF coach and you're not interested in that, we have a track that you can go through and watch videos and trainings without that. But during the coaching calls, it's actually really will elevate you, even if you're not an ICF coach, because you'll learn about things like active listening. You'll learn about, in a coaching call for ICF coaches, the first thing we do is establish and maintain agreements on a coaching conversation. And that's one of the first things you learn in coach training. Well, guess what we do on a sales call? Very same thing. And so when you can see the similarities, it really shrinks our learning time down. Absolutely. All right. Go ahead, Jen.
All right. And how do you suggest they find clients, and do you offer support around that?
Yeah. So every single month we have a call. So we help you every other week, but in addition, we have a bonus call every month on 5 ways to find clients. So we really step in each way. And what we're doing is we are not scaling our businesses, right? But we're going, how do we build a foundation that keeps us going on autopilot? So last week we did something called our champions, and we thought, okay, who are those people right around us, and how do we identify them? What do we say? How do we reach out? And then we had a challenge to reach out to 2 a day, and we formalize that and we gamify it, and we think about what feelings come up when you go to prospect. How do we do this? 15 minutes a day. I'm really into Atomic Habits. Where's the book? So how do we start changing how we think about how we spend our time? So we want to spend part of our time serving our existing clients during the day, prospecting, and then bettering ourselves. So how do we do that? Each month, this month, it's going to be on your watering holes. And so thinking about where those people are, we have an ADHD coach in our program. We have a parenting coach. We have people who are lawyers, and so now, so often you're really close to something and you think, oh, well, why would I go to that training, And so we help you and we pull clients as examples of where are those watering holes and where should you be hanging out and what should you be doing in those groups? Some are online and some are in person. And now what kind of workshops can you do? And what can that look like? And so, we teach you, even if it's a mom's group or a workout group, what can you say or what can you offer to step in front of that group and start presenting what you do? And we do that in the most simple way possible, eliminating tech and helping you step into it. So really simple challenges. And some people will say, you know what, I'm not ready to do that, but I'm ready to post this on Facebook, or I'm not ready to send a letter to my family and friends, but I feel okay sending it to my past colleagues from 5 years prior. Like that outreach feels good. So we really start to think about what feels good to you and help you systematically do it in a way that feels good to you. And of course, for more advanced practitioners, we can lead you in the right way. Carrie, when you said you want to do those marketing materials, we actually had a fun bribe. We have a new LinkedIn group. And so we bribed people with 30 Canva custom templates that a team member made and put them in there to help people motivate with, so we just do fun things like that. But we have marketing resources with you that are like really simple and basic to get you started, nothing super fancy, but that will help you just present yourself as a professional. So Mary Lou asks, what about niches? So one thing we're really kind of brilliant at is helping you step into what makes you brilliant and how you can find a niche in a way that's really aligned to you versus you stepping into a niche that you think will make money. A lot of people want to do a business niche because they think that will make money. We don't have to have a niche. Coaching is, I think, really coaching, and the sign is different. So you don't necessarily will help you realize often that you don't necessarily need a niche, but we will also help just in conversation. You might not realize, oh my gosh, I'm a triathlete. I should work with people who are triathletes. Like, so your niche might be more simple than you think. And it's just really mostly identifying where those watering holes are, where those buckets are that you naturally like hanging out. When you do something that isn't aligned with you, with your integrity, with your values, and it's something told you to do, it's not going to be sustainable. So we want to really work with you to create a marketing plan, to create a prospecting plan that you're actually going to do, not just following somebody else's system. But I have the experience and the knowledge to point you in the right direction. We're not going to have you do podcasts if you don't like speaking, or public speaking if you don't like being in front of people. But if you do like connecting with your church in a prayer group, how can you shift from that prayer group to presenting the opportunity in a way that feels ethical and aligned, right? Carrie says, why do you meet with clients every 2 weeks and not every week? What if they want to meet every week? Jen says that. Oh, okay. Great question. Meet with them every week. So you notice I use the word typically. So when you present the offer to the client, this is my suggestion, but we say every other week, right? That gives some grace and space. And that's just how I like to work. It feels good. But what if the client says to you, okay, $1,500 meeting every other week, but I need coaching every week? Great. Absolutely. That's $3,000. That's another reason why we want those whole simple numbers. And we want to understand and be able to, on the fly, switch that activation fee. You can go ahead and get started with $1,000 activation fee, or you can say $500 activation fee, and we'll move that start date out by a month or 3 weeks or 2 weeks to help them with that payment. So really, really nice. There's no right or wrong way. It's only what feels good to you. Some of you are going to work for 6 months with clients, some for 3, some for 1. And my way is not the right way. There's no right way or wrong way to sell. It's what feels amazing and aligned with you. Absolutely. I want to share with you a few more bonuses because I want to make sure that you come into the program today. We have a handful of more spots and I want to get your butts in here. So let me put that link to join. If you haven't already, go here, come on in. I'm going to support the heck out of you. Jen, can you put that link in there for me? Okay. Okay, Jen, Melissa says, if you don't have your ICF credentials, can you still get CCEs or do you have to wait to credentials? So Melissa, really great question. You do have to wait until you get that credential to start, but you can reach out to us, ask for an exception, and we will let you stay in the program or come back through. And that's what we're offering right now. This is always evolving, but you can absolutely hold me to that. In fact, I want to go ahead and share my screen and give you a few more bonuses because I want your butts in here today. I want to serve and support the heck out of you and have you on our next onboarding call. I have to move your little fracers. Okay, there we go. So I know some of you are like, okay, well, what about that offer? Anybody who joins us today gets to come to a 90-minute workshop. And this is going to be a pretty small group. So we're going to be able to work with you in a really nice way to fine tune your offer. Because yes, now you know, okay, I raised my right hand. I'm not selling single sessions, but what's your number? What are you going to offer your clients? How are you going to articulate your why and all the things? And so we get to practice this and really fine tune it. This is the most important part of your call and really where people practice the least and get feedback the least. So this 90-minute workshop for those of you who joined today, and Jen, let's be sure to tag them in Slack so I don't miss you and send you the invite. I'll add you to the Google link. I can say, hey, that's way too much that you're offering. Or, hey, how can we make this richer? Let's think about what kind of a gift you want to send to them that feels really good but doesn't break the bank. Okay, you have some exercises you want clients to do. Is that necessary? Right? So we can kind of go through all the things and really fine tune it so that you feel so good and so confident. And you're like me, you're like, get your butt in here. Let's do this work. I cannot wait for you to message me on my Voxer and get support. I have a second bonus for all of you today who have stayed on this call. You are going to get 1 year of support instead of our normal 6 months. So I failed to mention that to you, but 6 months every other week with a once a month call on finding clients. So that's 3 calls a month. You get those for a year, twice the amount of support, twice the amount of Voxer support. Anytime we update the program, you get it. Any of the challenges that we have, you get those resources and marketing material, guest experts that we bring in on website and marketing and other things like that. You get those for 1 full year. I'm really excited, especially because I know even before the call, we had a lot of people on this training who are in coach training. That first year is vital, 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 vital. And I want to support you for that. So I think that's a fun thing that we can offer you today. Okay. And then last but not least, you get our lower price. So you pay $1,500 for the program. And in fact, for those of you on the call today, you can just pay that $497 to get started and step in to this. Ask your questions. We'll finish up here in a few minutes. I can also share my screen and share with you. Oh, Jen's asking how many coaches are typically on a coaching call. We have about 15 to 20 typically on a coaching call, sometimes as many as 25 or 30 on those 5 ways to find client calls. And it's a really nice amount. When we start to get more, we'll offer a second call. But it's a really nice amount so that you can get personal attention, ask your questions, but also really learn from each other. Because when you see somebody sell a program for $5,000, you're like, okay, I'm not going to sell my coaching for $400 anymore. I'm like equally as qualified as that person, right? It really lights you up and helps you step into it in a different way from these coaches. So absolutely head to that website, jump on in. Let me share my screen with you and I will, let me see if I have that website pulled up. I'm going to show you where to go to purchase. Yeah, and keep those questions coming in the chat too. I'm happy to answer them. I have to check my screen, make sure I don't have anything crazy up. All right, here's the website. When you go to it, click in the chat. Jen can put it in there as well. And so you can just click down here. You can kind of scroll through if you'd like, learn a little bit more, but it's mostly just everything we've talked about. And then either scroll down to the bottom, or these links should take you to this form. And then you can go ahead and put in your information here. And then it will give you 3 payments total. And you just go ahead and put in your card information and hit complete order. Now, when you hit complete order, hang out for a minute because it's a little bit slow, but don't hit the back button for me. And you can just get started at that $497 today. We will make sure to tag you and send you out an invitation to join us for that free training. And we will also send you out your book right away. We will send you out a free gift. I'm going to stop share and I'm going to show you the program. So go grab your credit cards and get on in here so I can just onboard you and welcome you in. We have taken so many people through the course that we've been able to really fine tune it and really just create this lovely professional. We got rid of a lot of the noise, and that was something I really learned having so many people come through while in coach training, was to get rid of the fluff. And there's so many times you'll take a course and there's all this stuff because they want you to feel like you're getting the value for what you bought. So they'll do module after module and all these things that will keep you busy, but they keep you from selling. And they keep you building a website, figuring out your perfect niche, waiting until you have your certification before you start selling. But we want to get rid of all of the noise. So you'll come into the program and you'll sign into this beautiful module online platform, and you'll see we have a track for people who aren't ICF coaches and people who are. You'll have this stamp on it if it's for ICF coaches specifically. And then we bring you through the sales call setup. And I teach you literally what to say on your intake form, how to get them excited for the call, how to host the call, what should look like in the background, what you want to send to them, the number of reminders, like these little nitty-gritty things. I teach you how to take the money from clients, right? It's so often we're like, okay, let me send you an invoice. How do you want to pay? I hear a lot of people say. So I teach you how to take the money. There's actually a professional way to ask for the money. And I teach you how to do that, things you just couldn't know unless you were a professional person. And so now we learn the sales conversation in this 5 steps to choice framework. We also have an ICF version where we integrate in those core competencies. And you go, okay, here's the 3rd competency. Where should that apply? Here's the 4th. Why does that apply here? And why is it so important? And how do you do this on a coaching call? And how is it different yet so similar on a sales call? And so you have that overview of the sales call framework itself. And then we break it apart. So it's not enough just to teach it to you in one full swoop. We need to break it down. How do you get into rapport? How do you set an intention for your clients and so on and so forth? And then we get back down to, and this is the part we just taught, you can listen in on sales calls. So think about it. You set yourself up for success. You understand where to start finding those first 5 clients, how to put yourself out there. Then you learn the sales process, you practice it, and then you listen in. Pretty cool, right? I know. Remember what keeps you stuck. We make this audio. So I suggest you host calls face-to-face, but we make this just audio only for the privacy of the client. And these are shared with permission. And you get to listen in on me enrolling people. And you're like, oh my God, are you serious? That was so simple. You said such few words and you enrolled somebody that quickly. And I served the heck out of them and changed their lives, right? That's what matters. This is important, but the service and the lives changed is what matters. And I know it might not feel, that's why we want you to start where you are, whether it's 200, 24600 that you're selling your 3-month container of support. We want you to work in a way that feels really good to you so that it doesn't feel like you're selling air or fluff. You know the results. Your last 3 clients got it 600. So now you can double it to 12. And then at 1,200 a month, you go, oh my gosh, they moved, they got a divorce, they got a new job, they got a $25,000 raise. Holy cow. I'm now going to charge 1,500. I'm now going to charge 3,000. So then we have our 5 ways to find clients. That's every month. We have a place for our call replays here. And then this is really neat. We have a resource library for you with all of the things that you need. We have our challenge of the month up here. We have the sales call framework. We have a guide where we have powerful questions on sales calls, overcoming objections, AKA buying questions, heart vision exercise, ICF checklist, and all the things. And then we have bonus resources. So many brilliant modules around. I think it was Carrie was asking all these bonuses we have. I want you to focus on the first ones though first. Taking payment, client contracts, insurance, all these things I know hold you back. Do I need to create an LLC? Do I need an EIN number? Oh my gosh, this is a really cool one. And these are so fun. Some people just binge listen to all of them. But what we have here is really, we partner with a company called Quantum, and they teach you the website essentials. What should you have on your website? What should you have on opt-in? Colors. So that's something really fun to step into quickly is your colors and all the things. And this is bonus though. So I actually don't want to talk about this. What I want to talk about is you enrolling your first 5 clients or your next clients at $1,500 or more, where $1,500 is easy peasy for you at $3,000. So in one client, you will make this back and you will be set and know how to do this for the rest of your coaching career. And that is what I want for you. So head on over to there. I'll stay out just a few more minutes and answer any questions. I've so enjoyed hanging out with you. I can't wait to see you on that onboarding call and serve and support the heck out of you. So I'm here. Ask me anything. I'm here for you, please.
Did you see Carrie's question about if there's replays on the live coaching calls? Did you answer that?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. We have replays on the live coaching calls, and then we always put one coaching call up on the members only podcast as well. Absolutely. Yeah. Go for it. All right.
And then we still have some winners to announce as well.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. Answer. I totally forgot about those. Go ahead.
Okay. You want to do those? Okay. So we're giving out 4 $25 gift cards today. One is going to Mary Lou. Another one is going to Melissa N. Another one is going to Jenny Lee. And the last one is going to Robert O. Yay!
And then info@michellerockwood.com to claim those gift cards. Okay, email me, info@michellerockwood.com. And then let's just hang out. I'm happy to answer any questions. Robert, Patty, Yvette, Carrie, thank you so much for staying on. Yeah, we'd sure love to have you in the program. If anybody has any questions or they're not quite sure, they're saying, hey, can you answer, is this for me? I would love to answer that question for you. Robert, how are you feeling over there in Redondo? You got any questions for me, or what are you thinking? Does this feel possible for you?
Yeah, this is really, I think, what I need. I've been stuck without going into the backstory why. But yeah, I need to finish my coaching hours and work on the certification. So just tell me again how you'd get me in where the CCEUs, because that's, I think, where I stumbled, where it's taking me longer. So I've lost on some CCEU things that I did afterwards.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. So what we'll do is you'll have to do the work again. Right. So yeah. Oh no, you're gonna have to learn it again. So you'll have to do the work again. You'll have to come to the calls again. You'll have to do the thing again. But we will gift that back to you, so you can get those CCE credits. Yeah.
Right. But I just want to say that's a bonus because on certainly the other programs that I've done, I can't go back and redo them with those other programs.
Without repaying. Yeah.
Probably without repaying. Yeah. Because there are some pretty big companies and I don't think they're going to give that to me for free again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you'll pay thousands for those
Yeah.
CCE credits. So absolutely, barring any, like that's illegal from the CCE, from ICF. Absolutely. And that's something we can, I'll shoot you an email so you have that in writing after you get in. We'll have you sign a program agreement so it's really clear kind of what's expected of you and what's expected of us, but I can shoot you an email so you have that in writing. You do have a year in the program as well. So, that will be a great bonus to you to come to those active calls. But yes, you cannot. I have this gal, Melissa, who I actually worked on, trained her, hired her on a sales team, and she worked with me and she just got in a rut in her sales, so we reconnected. She went through the work and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm back, so you go through these dips and these dives. So coming back a second time, hot damn, like, of course, why wouldn't you? Now you'll be moving from 1,500 to 3,000. Right? Okay. How do I, why, and we'll go, okay, Robert, well, what happened with your past 3 clients, and you'll go, okay, well, one, you're like, okay, so we'll coach you through it and help you step up into that next level. So awesome. I can't wait to support you. That's exciting.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited too for you being in Redondo. It's just so nice. I remember like selling my first house. Actually, Robert, I'm going to send you my book. As soon as you join, I'll have you fill out a form. I'll send you my book. And I talk about in the book selling real estate in Palos Verdes, which is this community right down the street from Robert. And how I remember like I made $20,000 my first sale, in like a couple of weeks. And I was like, I went and bought a Mercedes. Like it was so stupid, and I talk about like all the dumb things I did, and how, it just felt so unaligned. So yeah, you'll resonate with that. I'll get that off to you. Carrie, how are you feeling? Is there anything I can answer for you?
I guess I was just wondering when the calls would be and how often.
Yeah. So right now the calls are Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They are recorded, so you can go ahead and go back and watch those. The call for finding 5 ways to find clients, that's typically on a Thursday around that noon hour. Calls are every other week in the program. So you will technically have 3 calls that you can come to. If you miss a call and you'd like to come back to the live call, the theme will repeat. So you'll be able to, I can say, hey, be sure, if you missed this call, come back to the 3rd one. Yeah.
Okay. And how long are they usually?
Well, they were 60 minutes, but now they became 90 minutes. And so they're 90 minutes long. Yeah, is what you want to block off once a week.
Okay. Because I can't do 90 minutes at that time, but if there's a replay,
Yeah.
I could do. I guess what I'm wondering is how, because where I'm stuck right now is like not wanting to put myself out there because I don't have a website, I don't have an Instagram feed, and I feel like that makes me look not legit.
Yeah.
And so like, I guess, yeah, how do you go about making your first 5
Yeah.
offers if you don't have all that? Like, do people trust you to just pay you $3,000 if you don't have like a website?
It's crazy. I
Yeah.
remember when I sold my first coaching, I thought the police were going to come for me. I was like, this has to be illegal. It has to be. But the truth is, Carrie, is that a website is actually going to hold you back. And I mean this with love, because you don't know what pain points your clients have. You also don't know the joy and brilliance that you bring to coaching unless you've sold it. So the website is actually going to fall flat. And once you sell to those first 3 or 5 clients, you're going to be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and then they're going to feel your energy from that. And so one other ways where you can help yourself feel professional is hosting calls with a calendar that looks and feels professional, having an intake form, having a limited amount of availability, sending appropriate reminders to people, hosting the sales call like a professional, right? Helping them understand the journey. And you gain the confidence when you have that and when you practice. And so now we step into it slowly in a way that feels good to you. But that's what we do. And some people will never build a website. Websites can really hold you back. They have to be done so well. So in
Right.
fact, Carrie, I'll teach you if you're into it. I'll teach you to do a lead magnet of some sort as opposed to a website. You know, whether that's sign up for my newsletter or sign up for my weekly meditation or something like that. A website's really, really tough. And you'll learn from Quantum, you know, when is the right time for that? And if you do it too soon, thousands in time, in your efforts. It's so depressing when nobody comes to your website, nobody cares, it holds you back. Nobody's going to go to your website and purchase. They're going to purchase because you were able to listen to them. You were able to understand their problem. You were able to resonate. You were able to share a bit of yourself, but not too much, right? You were able to guide them and be a professional. And so that's what we teach you how to do.
Well, that's really interesting because now I feel like I'm just so intuitive that I didn't make a website because I'm like been like trying to make it and wanting to make it, and maybe I just knew that at some level and I needed to do this training first. I guess though, but I always go to someone's website. Like before I would give someone $3,000, I would go to their website and just sort of look at their credentials. So you don't think most people aren't like that? No?
I
Okay.
mean, some people are, and we talk
Yeah.
about something called Colby, and some people are fact finders, and you might be more of a fact finder where you like to do research and that's how you make decisions.
Yeah.
But most
College
people
professor.
make this. What's that?
A college professor, so yeah, usually.
Ah, yes, yes. And
Yeah.
some people do. But most people make decisions based on intuition and a feeling,
Yeah.
and they back it up with logic. And so when we speak to their logic brain and we write down all the things they're going to get and all the stuff, oh, that's just another busy work to them. But instead, we help them tap into their vision of what it is they desire, and boom, you know, we're off to the races. So no, you don't have to do a website, honestly, ever. I have a company that I'll introduce you to, and they actually they'll build it all for you for a minimal amount of fee a month. But you could get really stuck. You can get really, really stuck there. And I won't. I work ethically, not like I'm fine. You know what I mean? I want you to sell clients, not to sell you into the program. And there's another program for you for websites or, you know what I mean? But if you want to sell to your next client, think strategically in your prospecting. Like right now we're going, okay, what companies offer a $5,000 stipend? This is very common. Who are you going to DM on LinkedIn if that's your thing? You know, how do we work smarter? Like, hey, BT Dubs, did you know your company? Why am I speaking like my 13-year-old today? I don't know. You know, by the way, did you know your company offers a $5,000 stipend? Isn't that a nicer, you know, opening or right? So how do we work smarter? How do we automate things? How do we have a face-to-face workshop? And so, Carrie, what you're saying about intuition is really true. And especially we have so many feelers and healers in here. If it doesn't feel good to you, a workshop, you're not going to do it. If it doesn't feel good to you to DM people on LinkedIn, you're not going to do it. And so it's not about how do we help Carrie feel good about DMing people on LinkedIn. What lights you up? You're a professor. You're at school. What, and you know, and we'll just like get you talking and, oh my gosh, okay, tell me more. Oh, you're going to speak at this. You're going to speak at that. Okay, awesome. So what could we do that fits into what you're already doing that feels amazing to you to start to enroll people with ease? And that's when we build a business that we love. That's when we build a business we want to show up to every day. And I don't work. Like, I don't work. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. Nothing, almost, you know, maybe hanging out with my kids, but even that, I love going to work. So they go, oh my gosh, Mom, what did you sell today? Who's in your program? Oh my gosh, tell me, you know, I love picking them up, opening those minivan doors. And that's always their question. Who was it? Who's it? Tell me about them. And so when work and life merge in such a beautiful way, and there's no reason it can't. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that about coaching in general. It's just like human connection, and that's what I love. So
Yeah. Yeah. It starts on that yes or on that hello and that sales call, that very first hello.
yeah, and I've been doing peer coaching for free, and I have to take it to the next level to charge, and I have so much resistance around charging, not knowing all the practical stuff. Like, so I think this would be really useful to just get me over, and just like, yeah, give me some scripts too, like how even to talk about money, because I still have a lot of guilt around
Yeah.
charging people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to lovingly show you your guilt will switch around not charging them.
Yeah,
Because you'll
that's
start
great.
to see, right? If I said, hey, Carrie, come on in, it's free. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to do nothing. But if I
Right.
say, Carrie, it's $500. Come
Mhm.
on in today. I'm going to charge you $500 next month. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to show up. You're going to do the
Mhm.
work. You're going to learn the 5 steps to choice. You're going to go, okay, I could charge $100 a month for 3 months. That would feel good. Oh my gosh, they showed up, and then, okay, I can charge $200. I can charge $300 a container of, and then we step into it. It's not about doing it my way, the exact way. It's what's right for you and how do we get you to that very next level, right? Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to work with you, Carrie. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun. Yvette, Jenny, Melissa. Yvette, you can feel free to unmute yourself if you want. Mostly I'm curious as to what's going on over there. Michelle, Mary Lou, Melissa, feel free to unmute yourself. I'm happy to really speak to you personally and tell you if this feels like a fit for you or not. And that's okay too.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you. I had a question. Are the modules and stuff, do you have lifetime access or
You
is it
sure
just limited? You do?
Yes, Melissa, you sure do. And I am sure as heck every time I update them, you get the updates. Nothing drives me more crazy when I purchase a program and they don't get updated. So as we grow and that program grows, you will get those modules with lifetime access. Absolutely. What kind of a
Yeah.
coach are you, Melissa? Or what are you thinking about doing?
Um, I don't know. I'm in that sort of that seeing who I attract. Currently, I'm mostly coaching women entrepreneurs that are also mothers.
Ah, cool. Very cool. Yeah. I know companies, it's really important for retention,
Mhm.
especially with consultants. They're giving extra stipends for women on at those higher levels, right? So for retention, yeah, thinking about where your people are hanging out and how you offer your services and what that looks like. Are you in coach training, Melissa, or have you graduated, or is this just
Yeah.
taken on?
No, I graduated. I did my program through UW-Madison.
Oh, cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. And then are you working towards ICF or is that not in your wheelhouse?
I am. Yeah, no, I am. I'm working towards my ACC and I should have my 100 hours in the next month. So I'll
Okay,
sit for the
awesome.
exam.
Ah, that's exciting. That exam is tricky. Boy, oh boy.
So I've heard. Yeah, often
Yeah.
80 some odd situational questions. So
Yeah. And it's not,
very heavy on the
yeah.
ethics.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm happy to share with you some tips and stuff that worked for me. At the end, it just the screen goes blank and it's like you're done. And you're like, well, did I pass? And you
Yeah.
have to search around like on the ICF website on the bottom corner. You're like, oh my gosh. I was so relieved. I felt like a 10th grader.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Yeah. Well, Melissa, does this feel possible to you? Does this feel,
Yeah,
yeah.
it does. And honestly, I've been doing sales for 20 years, but just different way of selling. And I've spent the last several years leading a team, and so I haven't been directly selling, outside of bringing new ideas to a team or implementing things. There's some selling there, but Yeah, I haven't really sold directly in so long. So, and I don't want to sell the corporate way that I've learned. It's never really fit me. I've always sort of
Yeah.
had that consultative approach and now bringing in coaching. And I really like your program and how you tie the core competencies with the selling, and that feels very aligned.
Yeah, I'm so glad. It really will help you be a better coach too. When we learn something out of context, you'll go, oh, that's what I'm doing on it'll like
Yeah.
helps for people like click in, especially new coaches. They go, well, somebody just told me to establish and maintain agreements at the beginning of the call. They just told me that was something I do. And I help them explain why it's so important to do that on a sales call, to help you about safety and security. And you'll literally see somebody on a sales call when you set a proper intention for what's going to happen during the call. You help them understand exactly why you're here, and they agree that they're here to be sold to. And we say that in a really lovely way. You'll literally see them go, oh, oh, great. It's so crazy, because
Yeah.
when we're afraid of being sold to, we put up this guard and we block ourselves off. And so when you can use those coaching skills, and now you'll go, oh, that's why I'm doing it also in a coach. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
oh, that's why I did it. So you kind of are taught it in a little bit different way from a different angle. It helps you see and understand it in a different way, and how important it is to do. So yeah, I'm really glad that it resonates with you. Also too, Melissa, like when you're selling corporate and you're selling for somebody else, it's a lot different than
Mhm.
selling yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
you could go, well, they
I
rejected
felt
the
that.
company.
I felt that in my being as I'm going through this process.
Yeah, well, they rejected the company. It wasn't me, I knew
Yeah.
better X, Y, and Z. And
All
it's
my
so
features, benefits, and advantages.
exactly. And it's, we teach you too, we'll help you understand, like, it's still not about you. It's really,
Oh yeah.
it's really about that coaching and that next step and their next choice and their decision as to what they do. So, well, wonderful, Melissa. Are you going to come in?
I think so.
Yeah, come in so I can give you those
There's
bonuses and get that low price. I'm already forgetting the second bonus. Do you remember? Robert, this is a pop quiz. I forgot what our second
One
bonus
year
was.
versus 6 months.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. A year versus 6 months. Thank you. It's been a week. Oh. So absolutely. Well, Melissa, we would sure love to support you. We'll send you out your gift right away. We'll get you on Voxer. We'll add all those calls to your calendar, Carrie. So we have you subscribe to the call calendar, so you can start planning. If you'd like to attend live, you can plan in advance and do that. Thanks, Melissa.
okay,
Well,
great. Yes, thank you.
yeah, we sure hope you join us, and we get to work with you and celebrate those first wins together.
Hey, great.
Jenny,
Thank you.
yeah,
I'm
my
gonna
pleasure.
drop now.
Go ahead. Jenny,
Bye.
at Mary Lou, may I help you?
Yeah. Um, I love the program that you're talking about. But right now I'm still in coaching class, in
Yeah.
a coaching class. And my niche is transformational spiritual coaching. And but I am thinking about eventually joining your program. I'm gonna get your book.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get your book. So
Good. Good, good, good. Well,
yes.
and are you going to want to make money as a coach? Is that important to you?
Oh, definitely, definitely,
Okay. And do you
definitely.
need to do that, is that something you want to do in the next year, in the next 3 months, 6 months? What feels good to you to start selling your coaching
And the next, oh wow, the next year.
in the next year? Okay.
The next
Okay.
year, yes.
Yeah. So like I said, during coach training, in my opinion, is the best time. And however you step into it, I just really implore you to work on containers of support during coach training and do your practice coaching. in those
Mhm.
containers of support, and I always suggest that you sell before you graduate. When you sell before certification, it feels really good to offer a beta program at 50% off. And
Mhm.
it releases the weight of it. And you say, this is beta. It's not going to be perfect. I'm essentially practicing on you. And for
Mhm.
some reason, Mary Lou, people love that. They love to be a part of something. And so to be a part of your growth in that way feels amazing to them and feels in service. And it really releases the pressure from you. So,
Mhm.
you know, that's ideally you step into learn the sales conversation, learn how to host sales calls and enroll clients even before you graduate. So we're so grateful you're here. And yes, my
Oh,
book is a
thank you.
great place that will help you shift your mindset, right? Around what you charge. And then the
Yes.
course is the nitty gritty. So we ask everybody, yeah, definitely we read the book and reference and start to shift our mindset around sales before we dive in. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I hope to see you in the program soon.
Yes. Right now I have to go.
All right, Mary Lou,
Sorry.
we'll see you
Oh my
later.
goodness. Okay, bye-bye.
All right,
Get
we'll
my
take just
granddaughter.
a few more questions. Jenny, R, and Yvette, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. And I want to know what Yvette does for a living. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Robert, thank you so much. We look forward to working with you, and I hope you have an amazing day. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Thanks.